it's more than just finding their niche, but it's more about finding each agent's unique voice and strength, right? Their
Hmm.
personality, their style of work, or their previous backgrounds, like all of that reflected well in all of our marketing material. That's where we help them rise up to the top of their niches because, man, when it comes to real estate, even the niches are busy, right? So,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Jenny Woon.
I'm Toni Singh.
And we have Jeff KEE, founder and director of Brixwork Real Estate Marketing. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for coming on our show.
My pleasure.
I reached out to you because you're working with a lot of Vancouver agents, especially at our Oakland brokerage,
Mhm.
developing their brands. We have a intro question before we get into all these little fun details.
Yes, go for it.
Jeff, what is your superpower?
My superpower. We just want to do everything better than the status quo. Everything, we just want to do it right, a cut above the average, right? So yeah, that's it. We want to make sure that our realtors and pre-sales and builders stand out against the sea of the numerous competition that there is. There's literally tens of thousands of agents across the province, right? So yeah, we just have to be a cut above. That's the number one thing.
Of course, everybody's striving for excellence, and there's no doubt the clients that you are helping, which are the agents in our industry,
Mhm.
we're definitely seeing their brand really excelling since they've joined you and your agency. Now, your agency is a creative marketing company for real estate professionals. You
Mhm.
guys started in 2005. Tell our listeners just a little bit about your background.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually doing all sorts of work for realtors, non-realtors, some venture caps, retail, everything. But half of my clientele were real estate agents, and I was in fact in and out of a lot of brokerage offices in West Vancouver and Vancouver to support them. Now that grew into an agency scope one day when one of the agents just barged into my area of the office and said, "Jeff, I hate my website. It's so hard to navigate and update the listings and photos." So we completely rebuilt a platform from scratch just for realtors, right? And then since then, it's grown to this boutique branding and design agency and a hybrid of a subscription-based real estate website platform that is much easier and concise and simpler to manage, and it looks better.
Okay, so you were a one-man show then, you're saying.
Once upon a time, yes.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
how big is your team now?
We're up to six now. We fluctuate a little bit over the last few years, but yeah, anywhere between 5 to 7, at some point up to 8 is how big our team is. Yeah, so we're mid scope, still pretty boutique. Everybody works locally here, but yeah, it's grown into quite the agency now, and we're making some big strides on our platforms too.
And you're local?
Yes, we're in Gastown. I don't know if you can tell by the decor and the vibe here, but we got brick walls and everything. So yeah, Gastown,
And
Vancouver.
before listeners who don't live in Vancouver, Gastown is a hip and trendy area. Very expensive real
Yes.
estate, by the way, for your office to be located. But that means that you're closer to our agents
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
be able to service them. What
Absolutely. Yeah.
really, yeah. So, in terms of obviously, you said your team is about 6 or 7. What role
hmm
do you play in your clients' projects?
So I'm the creative director. That's my biggest role, to look at the big
Hmm.
projects and scope out how to really get the personality and the unique strengths of each agent, each team, or each pre-sale project out there. And of course,
Hmm.
there's a lot of technical counsel too in terms of the builds and the strategies and the code structure. So because I'm the most experienced, of course, in the real estate scope and the platform that we built. Yeah, so I play quite a bit of diverse roles, but I would say creative direction and systems council is my two biggest roles at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, can you describe your unique approach or philosophy that sets your agency apart in such a competitive real estate market landscape?
Absolutely. So one of our key models is what's on the outside matters. I know this sounds controversial, but it's true because it's such an emotional field. People make a snap judgment on how they feel about your brand on the first impression. So we're all
Mhm,
about making you look better, and also consistency across the board is such an important thing, right? Like nothing's worse than having a mismatching business card and a website and a presentation kit that your
Mhm.
brokerage just gave you on a very generic basis. No, we want
mhm,
our clients to have that cut above. So yeah, that those are the two things. It's got to look good. It's got to look consistent. Then you can
mhm,
really showcase what you, as an individual realtor or a team or a builder, is all about to get your unique
mhm.
strengths and persona across to your clients.
So, given that, what specific services does your agency offer to the real estate professionals, and how have you seen their business or growth expansion since they've rebranded or started a brand?
Mhm. Yep. So we do full blown brand conception that includes the logo design, but as you probably know, it goes way further than that, right? We do all the listing presentation kits, the business cards, folders, the print media, the digital assets such as a premium website that is well tailored. We even design email templates, social media posting templates, and PPC full funnel flow ad campaigns with landing pages and email follow up. So all of that is what we do. And one of the best things we like to hear is a client coming to us saying, hey, that listing presentation is a home run. As soon as somebody sees it, it's a done deal. Or other people say, wow, we've had so much higher conversion rates with our new PPC campaign and landing pages that you designed compared to the previous ones. We're so happy. So, yeah, it's
Mhm.
very
What does
results oriented.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
what does
ask that.
PPC stand for?
Oh, sorry. PPC stands for pay per click advertising. It's a
Okay.
comprehensive term that refers to Google search ads, responsive banner ads that you see on websites, social media ads that you run. Yeah, so basically, digital ad campaigns is what PPC ads generally refers to.
Mhm. We're seeing, one of your employees in the background working hard there.
Hmm.
Obviously, there's probably some people who meet their clients face to face and they
Hmm.
do a discovery. Like, if I was to call you right now, what does that discovery process look like to create that brand? Because you can go
Yeah.
in so many directions.
Yeah.
So, is there like a list of discovery questions that you would ask?
Absolutely. And that discovery question is different based on what your business entity is, right? Because we service boutique builders and pre-sales as well as realtors. Yeah, about 80% of our clientele are realtors. We have a lot of other non-realtors in the real estate sector, by the way. So yeah, it starts with
Mhm.
a discovery of what makes that specific brand or a product or a team unique. And we try to hone in on, other than the typical things that every realtor wants to say of, oh, I'm a negotiation expert, I'm a neighborhood expert. Well, guess what? No realtor has ever claimed not to be one of those. So we try to
Right.
really dig into, well, why would somebody choose you over the other agent? And we also do a
Mhm.
discovery of the weaknesses too, right? For example, if an agent is
Mm.
brand new and has very little tenure in sales history, well, guess what? You're not going to compete against a veteran agent that already has 500 million in sales volume in West Van, for example, right? So then we try to tell a different story around of, well, how do we then present this young, eager, hotshot agent to stand out against a sea of well decorated veterans, for example, right? So those are the detailed questions
Mhm.
that we ask to start before we start building out
Mhm.
the rest of the campaigns.
Mm. Can you give me like a real case study or example where you brought like a brand new agent into the bit like to just basically break the business and kind of get their foot through the door? Some brand that you're
Yeah,
really proud of to talk about?
yeah. Uh,
Mm.
there's a lot, but one that really comes to mind is Karen Erickson in North Vancouver. Hi, Karen, in case you're watching this. She came to us, and so for the real estate market, she was fairly new at the time, brand new, in fact. But she had a depth of experience through large sales volume negotiations in corporate settings before. She's a relentless hard worker with a work ethic that isn't easily rivaled by many in the industry. So we custom curated her website, her presentations, all that to emphasize those factors and sort of, push down the fact that she's brand new. And this was several years ago. Now she's a well-decorated agent with a lot of sales history and tenure to show off, and she's very well known. She's actually killing it on Instagram and social media as well. But yeah, at the time, it was quite the challenge to get somebody who's brand new and get them to a established level in less than 2 years. So yeah, that was one of the best success stories we've experienced.
Jeff, what do you find that most agents right now are lacking or missing out on, either with branding or marketing that could help improve their business?
I think so many agents are lacking consistency in their brand. It's so fragmented, right? Some of them don't even have a brand guideline set up, but even if they do, they got somebody doing their social media on Canva, not following their brand guidelines, or they're also wasting a lot of time just circling around the same thing that everybody else does without an edge. For example, a lot of realtors keep posting on social media, as an example, right? But they're just regurgitating the same listing photos and tour videos and whatnot that every other agent is doing. They all have templated websites with a long bio that nobody reads. Oh, sure, yeah, you have almost reciprocity, but then so does everybody else. So a lot of them are kind of going the direction of cookie cutters that everybody else is also doing, and then getting lost in the sea of realtors, right? So yeah.
Yeah, personal branding is really important, but I also feel like having a CRM is really important. So what I'm imagining your service, you develop the front end, like the website presence, and then helping on the SEO and the digital assets. So 2 questions: are you like outsourcing like a connection to the CRM, or are you actually completing that for the agent? And second thing, do you help with social media postings?
I'll answer the CRM question first. So the answer is yes, we integrate with any CRM of your choice because a CRM selection is very personal and every realtor or team has a different need for that. So I actually think it's one of the worst ideas for a web platform to try to tie in a CRM because then you're trying to be jack of all trades and master of none. And it also takes away the freedom for the agents to choose between different platforms. Modern web interfaces are all about connecting with different platforms through APIs. I know that's a buzzword a lot of people hear, but APIs is a critical concept to facilitate that. So we can connect our websites with MailChimp, Follow Up Boss, Constant Contact, Spark for mass pre-sale marketers, Brivity, you name it, right? Pipeline Deals, KV Core. So yes, we absolutely encourage all of our agents to use a CRM because it keeps you organized and saves you a ton of time. So I hope that answers the first question of our CRM push. Secondly, as far as social media postings go, we pre-design all of your social media assets, such as your for sale, new listing posts, or market stats and update posts and everything, so that it is all ready for your team to quickly fill out and go. Now, we don't manage the day-to-day social media postings because that is a totally different business model from what we do as a boutique agency that sets up the framework. So no, we're not going to touch your social media accounts. It's just we set it up so that you can orchestrate that with efficiency and consistency.
Yeah, I can agree. I have someone full time just doing that, the posting and the creating outside of the for sale and the the solds. What would you say are the most effective digital marketing tactics today for promoting one's personal brand? I mean, there's just so much to learn, and it's impossible to kind of catch up.
There's so much to learn, then there's also time and budget constraints. So I can't really say there's one solid way to do it. It really depends. But I found that a lot of clients who are active on TikTok and Instagram, they're getting a lot of traction as long as they have unique content. And but the other way is if you don't have the time to manage all of that on your own or put a lot of dedicated resources into filming and hiring an editor, PPC ads and landing pages, and also SEO on your website to get the Google traffic is one of the best ways. And we've had so many success stories with solid numbers to back it up.
Okay. And analytics is, again, a whole level of knowledge and
Mhm.
experience you have to have. So,
Yes.
would you also provide reports to the agents on the performance of each of those pay-per-clicks and the ads that are happening?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So when we run the SEO campaigns or the PPC ad campaigns, we provide them with a very comprehensive yet concise report of the numbers that really matter. For example,
Hmm.
higher conversion rates on a PPC ad is one of the holy grails that we all strive for, right? Um, there's also, when it comes to SEO campaigns, there's of course the Google traffic volume, but how many pages and how much time does each visitor spend on your website, and how many
Mm.
form interactions you get, how many people are submitting the inquiry form to give up their email address, their phone numbers to you. So yes, reporting and analytics is one of the biggest things that we emphasize here, because at the end of the day, results and the numbers is what we are going for, right?
Yeah. And you mentioned like unique unique content. What
Mhm.
would be like a couple of examples that would be considered unique?
So one of the best examples of a unique content that we have for realtors is their scorecards. What have they achieved that is tangible? For example, some of our clients have over 300 five-star reviews. Other ones have a above the market average of asking to sales price ratio. They're getting more dollar for all of their listings. Some of our clients boast that all of their listings get at least 15,000 plus views on their social media platforms. Those are
Okay.
all different strengths that
Mhm.
each individual realtor can leverage if they actually track their own numbers, right? So
Mm,
yeah, that's where you stand out, because everybody is a good negotiator on paper, right?
Mhm.
But what does the scorecard say about that? Do the results reflect the claim? And that's where we really excel at the storytelling aspect of each agent.
okay.
That's a perfect segue into finding the right niche, which you also mentioned, Jeff, is really important for
Mhm,
realtors in order to stand out in the sea of so many agents.
mhm.
So, throughout the process, do you help guide your clients in identifying and developing what their unique niche is? I would imagine that some agents don't know that yet.
Mhm.
Absolutely, we do. And you're right. Some agents don't know their niche yet, and that's totally fine, because here's the thing: the whole niche for realtors is actually much more higher to attain than you think, because
Mm.
everybody's for example, everybody's a luxury West Van specialist. Everybody claims that. Everybody's a condo specialist. But there's also thousands of agents claiming to do that, right? So the truth is, very few realtors actually have a very dedicated niche of, let's say, industrial land or farmlands or whatever, right? We have some of those, but for the most part, the whole niche for realtors is still just as crowded, no matter how much you think you've niched, right? How
Mm,
many Fraser Valley realtors do you know that call Fraser Valley a niche? Well, that is so broad, right? So yeah, again, to help them excel at their niche, it's more than just finding their niche, but it's more about finding each agent's unique voice and strength, right? Their
Mhm.
personality, their style of work, or their previous backgrounds, like all of that reflected well in all of our marketing material. That's where we help them rise up to the top of their niches, because man, when it comes to real estate, even the niches are busy, right? So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's often, yeah, like our agents who are new to my brokerage, they're
Mhm.
like, do I figure out who I am first and then
Yeah.
market to them? Or do I
Mhm.
just like
Pick one.
work with everyone and it eventually comes to me?
I
It's a
think
tough
in most
question.
cases that's what happens, because I mean, when you're
Yeah.
when you're a young brand new agent, let's face it, we all think there's some ideal path that is carved out for us, but
Mm.
anybody who's gone into their own self-employment of any sort, including real estate, knows that it's not that smooth and a predetermined path. A lot of them end up just taking on whatever listings or buyers they can get, and then they find their niche. And I've seen them do really well too, don't get me wrong. Like, I know it sounds very lost and purposeless, but that's not true, because sometimes, the hustle and the grind to get the best result of any transaction, no matter where it is, whether it's a one bedroom condo in US or
Yeah.
mansion and kids. When they do their best, good results come out of it, and then they can find a niche after. So I think
Mhm.
showing that gritty, tenacious personality, that charming, salesperson that the realtors are meant to be is often more important for new agents than trying to define a niche right away, right? Because
Yeah. Thanks
what are
for
you going to do? Say
clarifying
no
that.
to a listing when you need a listing because you've said your niche is somewhere else? Like that just seems like thousands of dollars just wasted down the drain to uphold an ideal,
Mm.
right? So no.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about traditional marketing.
Hmm.
Is it dead, or should
No.
it be actually be a complement to the newer digital strategies being used now?
Yes. They still combine.
How
Okay.
so?
Now, a lot of homeowners still, and okay, like, okay, we see a lot of realtors on digital media and social media because we're tech savvy as a generation, right? But there's a lot of homeowners or buyers or sellers who are still on the traditional side, but also, even if they're not, look, when you get a mailer in your mailbox, like if they look like every other generic realtor's mailer that looks like it just got stapled out of, printed out of staples, yeah, sure, they get thrown out. But if it's designed nicely with nice paper and all that, and you get a QR code on there or some kind of an enticement to say, hey, check out the website to get more information, a lot of traditional print media or signage or whatever can be leveraged to send traffic there. Now, since COVID, QR codes became a regular thing because, see, the QR code system has been
Hmm.
in existence for a long time. Our website back in it
Mhm.
has
Yeah.
had a QR code system for more than a decade, but people barely use it. Now that they're using
Mm.
it, the trend is that going from a physical piece that has a QR code on it to digital has actually been made much more easier. And QR codes is not in
Mhm.
the exclusive domain of nerds like myself anymore, right? So no, I think there's an even bigger opportunity to leverage physical media into more digital activity. So use both. Why miss an opportunity? Because humans still live in a physical, tactile world. What they touch, what they feel, they interact with it still, right? You just got to drive them
Hmm.
I think that's
digitally
a great
better.
answer.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just to expand on that, like if a mail piece was to come to my home, rather than the feel and
Hmm.
the thickness of the paper, the colors and everything looks great, but what's a good call to action besides like making someone want to scan the QR code? Like, what are you suggesting agents put on their postcard?
There's a few ideas. So when it comes to listings, I hate it when they cram in too many photos because you can't see anything, right? The tiny little photos. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Put one or two nice teaser photos out there and say, hey, check out the QR code to see more photos, watch the video tour,
Mhm.
entice them with more media. People love media, right? And there's a lot of neighbors who are, they're snoopy little looky-loos. They want to see what their neighbor just got for their house. They want to see what's inside. Like, is this home, nicer than mine on the inside? Like, what does a pool look like? So, trigger the curiosity, right? Like when I see realtors just like so stuck on the whole, call now for a complimentary home evaluation. Well, no realtors ever charge for a home evaluation. So I don't really see that as an enticing call to action, right?
Mhm.
Like that's like a
Uh.
restaurant saying, hey, we'll give you free cutlery with your meal. Well, of course you're going to get cutlery if you order something, right? So give them something more than what everybody else is offering, right? You could offer them
It's funny.
sold reports, right? Like that's what's something
Yeah.
that's not easily found on the MLS is, well, which home sold and for how much in the last 5 weeks, right?
Right,
So
right.
yeah, a lot of creative ideas
It's
to
funny that you say
engage.
that because I always thought the same thing about the free home evaluation, and
Yeah.
then I thought, "Oh, maybe it's because people that have never sold before, they don't realize that
Hmm.
we don't charge for it typically." So
Oh, I gotta take that.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't have
Yeah.
any.
So, Jeff, speaking to your marketing campaigns, how are you measuring the success and effectiveness of those for your clients?
Two ways to measure. There's testimonials and anecdotes. So when a realtor comes up to us and says, "Hey Jeff, that feature sheet set that you guys did for us, we got a listing from a neighbor who was snooping in the open house. Thank you so much. That
Mm.
was fantastic." So that's an obvious one, right? That's like, okay, that's the victory that we're going for, right? Secondly, I'm a numbers guy, big surprise. So we can see the efficacy of our campaigns, whether it's an SEO campaign or whether it's a PPC ad campaign, or even websites that are not exactly promoted through those aggressive means. We can see how people are interacting with our websites. Are they clicking on more pages? Are they spending more time on each page? How far down are they scrolling? So those engagement metrics are measurable. And I think it's arguably even more important than traffic itself, because you can always buy traffic, but engagement,
Mhm.
you need to work for it, right? So that depends on how nicely your website is designed and how uniquely
Mhm.
laid out it is to tell your story, right? So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if content is
Mm-hmm.
king,
Yeah.
engagement is queen, they say. So, yeah,
I
those
love all your little
engagement metrics are
phrases.
so easy to measure these days, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So what would you say is like the number one mistake or the number one thing that agents overlook when they're um that they should make an investment when they're putting together their marketing assets?
Well, there's many, but one of the key mistakes that especially rookie agents make at the beginning is to not get their brand guidelines set up properly at the beginning. So a lot of them will say, "Oh, well, I'll invest into branding when I have some more cash." Well, okay, that actually ends up costing you more money in the long run, because see, not only are you handing out cars and website showing websites or whatever that don't match, so you're losing out on a lot of opportunity costs of building up your brand, when it's even more critical to build it up at the beginning stage when you're new, right? You're competing against other existing well-branded, well-known agents. Secondly, by the time you add up the reprinting costs of other things down the road, because you've already printed some,
Mhm.
general cars and listing booklets or whatever, throw all that out and print them again. Well, that's probably going to match or exceed the cost of the initial branding, right? And third,
Mhm.
there's so much time wasted when people don't focus, get the brand done right. So, you see so many agents just spending too much time on Canva trying to dawdle around between different fonts and colors, and what they produce looks like dog's breakfast anyway, because there's no consistency, but they've also wasted so much time on it. Well, guess what? Your time is money. It is precious. That is a resource that you're never going to get back later. So,
Mhm.
that initial investment lacking ends up costing far more than what the initial
Mhm.
investment would have cost, right?
Mhm.
Fair
Mhm.
point.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. What should an agent expect to spend now that you're talking about pricing? I don't know if you can share it on the podcast without really
Yeah.
digging deep into really figuring out what they want. But what are
Mhm.
the price ranges, like minimum package and then full on package with you?
Yeah. Yeah, very good question. Huge range, obviously. It really depends on how much stuff you want. But,
Hmm.
an intro, entry level package for a new realtor where they want everything done right and have enough edge to stand out, we can actually get that done for about 3 to 4K. A lot of our contracts are that size for newer agents.
Hmm.
Typical, most common price point that we hit is about 7 to 9 these days, and that would entail
Hmm.
a customized listing presentation booklet, a buyer's booklet, and all that. And in some cases, for the more premium teams or the established guys that want everything done, we have gone up to 20K or so. So the range is
Hmm.
Mhm.
big. Now, keep in
Hmm.
mind that if you start out with a smaller, branding and a semi-customized website and stationery kit for about 3 to 4 grand, you can always add more things on top, because if you get the
Hmm.
branding done right at the beginning, you have a framework and a guideline to build upon later. So you don't have to go all in. It's not like a house where you have to commit to a 4 bedroom home right away. No, you can
Hmm.
easily set the foundation and keep adding on as your business grows.
Hmm. That's really good options. And I think most people forget to actually forget when they come into this business that they're actually business owners
Mhm.
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
you're a sole proprietor and you do have to work on your branding. It's not just, it just doesn't end after you complete your exam.
no,
Um,
the
so
The
yeah,
exam's
work
the
they
just
easy
don't, they
part.
begins
don't,
then.
yeah, this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
How do you yourself and your employees kind of stay up to date with like the latest trends and technologies, especially with the algorithms,
Hmm.
to ensure that your clients also get the cutting edge strategies in place?
Yeah, absolutely. We spend a lot of time on social media and YouTube for that reason. So when it comes to technological changes, I guess I'm one of the most in charge of that. So server security stuff, updates on the backbone side of it. Yes, I am always on top of it through the Amazon Web Services newsletters. As far as design trends and when that goes, we're on Behance, which is an Adobe acquired platform now that has all sorts of design inspirations. We spend time on Pinterest, and we also have a network of peers that we actually chat with behind the scenes, other graphic design, branding, marketing people in the industry. And we share a lot of ideas between different channels and different niches, right? So, yeah, there's a whole think tank of industry people chatting behind the scenes that you guys may not see, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's so much exchange of ideas and thoughts and inspirations and cautionary tales that happen on a weekly basis in our office between all of these peers mentioned.
That sounds exciting
Yeah,
and
yeah.
really collaborative.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of like marketing
Yeah.
associations or like graphic designers where you guys all collaborate and meet
Yeah.
up to see what the
Oh,
the
yeah.
latest font trend or the latest color trends are.
Yeah, colors,
Um,
fonts, new Pantones, yeah, you name it.
Tools.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your area of expertise for
yeah,
sure.
software.
So in 20 yeah,
Mhm.
software, AI. You guys recently have done dozens of system upgrades,
Mhm.
and it's led to better lead email delivery. What else do you have in store to stay competitive?
Oh God, that's only such a small piece of it. So every year we
Okay.
have dozens of upgrades coming out. See, the thing about cloud software and website platform maintenance is it never stops. There's always new things to add, new security issues, new deliverability issues, new compatibility upgrades and whatnot, right? So that's only like literally 1 out of 20 major things we've done in the last 2 years.
Mhm.
Most excitingly, this summer, we're just about to unveil our version 5, which is a completely redesigned user interface for the website management platform on the back end. We've been working on this for almost a year now to fully renovate everything. So, no, our system upgrades are a constant thing. Yeah, it never stops, and it shouldn't, right? That's what you're paying for, right? Like, it's not a
Yeah.
subscription-based platform if we're not delivering continuous improvement as part of the value for our clients.
hmm Sorry, Jeff, did you go to school for marketing or tech or sales or like what's your background in the education portion before you started creating these brands for the agents?
No schooling whatsoever for me. I was actually one of those really geeky kids who got into the web design and graphic design things as a middle school kid. I didn't have much girlfriends, but I had my software to play with. So seriously, yeah,
Oh.
I built up those skill sets very early on when it was actually new and cool and through all of my freelance gigs when I was just after high school, and then running the design and marketing agency earlier in my 20s, that built up a good foundation, and then it grew into becoming a subscription-based, a SaaS-based agency, right? So yeah,
Mm,
all
amazing.
self-taught.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, well, it
That's special.
shows. Obviously, you also started a company, HOVR. Can you
yeah,
tell
hover
us a little bit
marketing.
more about that?
Yeah, for sure. So before we went all into real estate in 2011, and I, said no to all non-real estate contracts after that to build out a niche, because we did a lot of, junior mining companies or healthcare companies and whatnot. Before that, some of my associate contacts in the field came back and say, "Hey, Jeff, can you jump back in? Like, we need some help. We need somebody who knows the industry well because we're sick and tired of all these cookie cutter guys in the field." And at first I said, no, I like the fact that I niche and my business is running better because we have a focus. But they were relentless in wanting me to jump back in. So it was a tough choice because I didn't want to spread myself too thin. But then I realized, if there's a need for that in the market, and if it gives our design team and creative team a different outlet to do something other than real estate, it can actually trigger our brains and our workflow to incorporate better ideas from both fields and blend it in. So
Mhm.
if eventually I caved and said yes. So yeah, it's an interesting one where people literally begged me to come back in over multiple weeks of convincing. All the guys in the IR and the PR firms are like, we need a better website provider. I said, sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome.
Well, it's paying off.
Yeah.
Well, how can our real estate professionals and potential clients get in touch with you to explore all your services? I mean, it sounds like you already work with so many fantastic agents in our industry, but for those who are looking to either start a brand, rebrand, maybe they work with developers who are looking to launch a project, where can they reach you?
The best thing to do is check out our website. It's brixwork.com, BRIX
Mhm.
work.com. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and send us a DM there too. We check it out. Or just shoot us a direct email at info@brixwork.com. It's going to be in the caption below. So yeah, take a look through. If you like what you see, let's have a chat.
Awesome. And Jeff, we always round out our episodes with 5 rapid fire questions.
Mhm.
Do you have a couple minutes just to run through those?
All yours. Go for it.
Okay. What's the top piece of advice you'd give to real estate agents looking to elevate their online presence?
Be consistent, not only in the design, but also your efforts. Do not fizzle out. Have that grit and tenacity to push through, because there's going to be tough times when nothing happens, especially if you're new. Push through it. Don't give up.
Mhm.
Okay. In 3 words, how would you describe the culture of your organization?
Ooh. Can I do 4? Work hard, play hard is something that I always tell them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
4
good
words.
one.
Good.
Yeah. If you'll accept
Toni?
4, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
In 3 words, how would your employees describe you?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say tough but caring. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tough but caring. I like how he's using like the full sentence
Yeah, the
as the
full
3
one.
words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Most of our guests like say 3 different words, but you're like it's kind of cool that you're coming up with 3 words, a sentence. Um,
Yeah.
what is your latest gadget or tool you purchased under $100?
Under 100. Ooh. Okay, had it here. So, there it is.
Hmm.
Oh, he has
Um,
something.
Most people don't have one.
Mobile
What's
What is that?
microphones. It's a clip-on microphone. So, because we're getting into a lot of content marketing for ourselves, you can clip this on, hook it up to the camera wirelessly, and have more than 2 people talking in a conversational way, and record more casual videos that talk about how we can help our real estate agents. So yeah,
What
video.
brand is that one?
I was going to say, you're not paid to sponsor this, but we just want to know what brand.
No.
If it's under $100, that's a good investment.
Yeah, I think this one is from Hollyland Technology. I found it on Amazon, so I know nothing about the brand, just a preface. So far, it's
Okay.
worked really well. The quality is good, the connectivity is good, and it's easy to recharge. So yeah,
Awesome. Thanks for the tip.
Mm-hmm.
my pleasure.
Final question. If you didn't start a marketing agency, where would you be today?
I had a scholarship offer to Waterloo Engineering School when I was in high
Ooh.
school. So had I taken that, I didn't know if I wanted to go to school or not, so I never did, and here I am. But yeah, could have been an engineer of some sort, maybe in robotics or biotech. I don't know. That's my thought. Yeah,
Fun.
yeah,
Yeah, I can see that.
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, you've done so well, and we really appreciate you taking the time to come and share some of your insights on your business. And guys, if you guys are looking for a creative agency for yourself, that you're looking for results, you are looking for something that will perform and provide some online presence for you, check out brixwork.com. Their IG is at Brixwork. Brixwork, that's BRIXWORK. Thanks, Jeff, for coming on. We really appreciate your time, and we'll hopefully be able to maybe invite you back into like our brokerages for maybe like an in-house presentation.
I would love to do that. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Thanks for making the time for us.
Have a great day. Bye now.